Podcast. Today we are talking about New World Screwworm, and Texas is bringing back a pest control tool from the 1970s to take on a very real threat to our southern border that is NWS, or New World Screwworm. It is called Swormlure-5. Say Swarmler 5 times fast or 10 times fast. I'm probably going to get tongue-tied a million times in this episode trying to say it right. But Swarmlure-5 is a synthetic bait that mimics the scent of an open wound, pulling in screwworm and blowflies and taking them out before they can spread. The Texas Department of Agriculture says that pairing this with the Sterile fly program could be the key to stopping screwworm before it turns into a nationwide problem. Today, I'm going to walk you guys through what the news is all about, how it works, and why the state thinks that it's going to be betting on this now. But first, before we dive into the episode, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, rate, review, do all of the things. We really appreciate it here at the team. It allows us to continue bringing you guys these episodes every single day and continue to grow with you. So if you could take 5 seconds to go do all of those things, we would appreciate it greatly here at the team. So let's dive in. New World Screwworm. This is a parasitic fly. If you aren't familiar with the specifics of what NWS does, it lays eggs in open wounds. The larvae feed on live flesh, and if you don't catch it early, it is usually fatal. US wiped it out in the 60s, saw one small outbreak in the 70s, and since then, nothing. Until now, recent detections near our border with Mexico and have the USDA and the Texas Department of Agriculture on high alert. We're talking billions in potential losses, and not just cattle here. This is everything from deer, goats, sheep, pets, everything in between. So here's the real question. Are we ready to fight a parasite most producers have never had to face in their careers? Texas Ag Commissioner Sid Miller says that the answer starts with bringing back something called Swarmlure. Back in the 70s, Swarmlure was a synthetic bait. It lured screwworm and blowflies straight to their death. Now we've got Swormlure-5. Same idea, stronger science. It mimics the smell of an open wound. Flies cannot resist it. And once they're at the bait, they're done for. This isn't replacing the sterile fly program. I really want to emphasize that. It is reinforcing it. And history tells us that the combo works. Back then, bait plus sterile flies wiped out 90% of the flies within 2 to 4 weeks, with the last 10% gone soon after. So, do we trust the playbook that worked 50 years ago, just with a little bit of a modern twist? Miller's calling this a nationwide crisis. His logic: you don't want to wait for a parasite like this to spread before you act. And remember, the thing about this is it doesn't just target livestock. Deer, goats, wildlife, they are all at risk. The good news is that Swarmlure-5 is highly targeted. It is not going to go after honeybees, monarchs, or other pollinators, which is a big win for both agriculture and conservation. But here is something worth thinking about. In a time when pest control methods can be controversial, how do you roll something out like this fast, get buy-in from the public, and keep public trust on your side? This isn't Texas going solo. The Texas Department of Agriculture, working with USDA, Secretary Brooke Rollins, and the Mexican government and many other states. They're putting Swarmlure-5 traps exactly where they're needed most. The idea here is to catch it early, keep it small, and eradicate it fast. And honestly, if this works here, it could be a blueprint for stopping other invasive pests in the future. So here's where we're at. A parasite we thought we'd beaten is back at our doorstep, unfortunately, and Texas is reviving a proven eradication tool, upgrading it and pairing it with a program that has worked before. The science says it's effective, the history says it's effective, but success this time, that's going to come down to speed, coordination, and whether or not everyone involved pulls the same direction. So, if you were in charge of protecting your herd, would you double down on an old method with a modern twist or push for something entirely new? That is a decision worth watching, and it might just decide how this story ends for all of us within agriculture. This is something to definitely keep an eye on as it continues to develop and change. Screwworm, Swarmlure, I knew I wasn't going to get through the episode without saying it right. Screwworm and Swarmlure are something that have been on our topics, on our minds for a while now. We've all heard it. We've heard that it's coming, and we know that the sterile fly programs are coming. but are they going to come fast enough? This is a tool that is hopefully going to help us have the time that we need to get those sterile fly programs in Texas up and running and do everything that we need them to. So definitely keep informed, keep your eyes out on everything that is happening. And if you guys enjoyed today's story, this is something that I found in our daily newsletter that we send out here at Cattle USA called The Drive. And this is a newsletter that has everything in it that you need as a cattle producer, from market updates to weather to news to market news to everything else in between. So make sure you head down to the show notes down below and check out that newsletter link where you can go and you can sign up for that newsletter in literally just a few seconds. It doesn't take much time at all. So you can get that newsletter hitting your inbox every single morning and be informed, be prepared, and be a better producer at the end of the day. So thank you guys for listening to another episode. I hope you have a great Monday. We will see you all tomorrow on another episode. Have a good one, y'all.